need to do this automation.
Okay.
To reduce the repetitive work.
Reduce the
Good.
resource activity. I mean, more number of resources, no need to work. Like automation again, resource you can use single uses or multiple number of resources. You can use single uses if you know automation.
Okay. Nice, nice. Yeah, someone was talking. Vasant Kumar. Sai Kumar, you can mute if you're not talking. Okay. Vasant Kumar, you're talking something. I missed it.
Automation is mainly for to reduce the repetitive work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. Any
For
other?
regression purpose.
Okay. Okay. So, how about others like Karna Murli, Raju?
To reduce the manual effort.
Mm-hmm. To reduce the manual effort, to reduce the manual work, less number of resources. So these are the common points I've heard from here. So yeah, less number of resources, less burden on manual testing team. We hear all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So that is the main exact reason why automation testing is there. And I mean, as of now, we will stick to these points. Yeah. So what does this image depict about? This image is nothing to like hurt anyone. This image is just a depictive representative of how the life of a manual tester versus life of an automation tester. So what can you infer this from this image? What can you infer from this image?
So if you can see the manual one, all the paperwork is there.
Mm-hmm.
So he need to store in that paperwork something like that. But in automated, he can save it in multiple devices.
Mm. Okay. How about others?
Time can able to save.
Sorry.
Time it will going to save. Time it will going to
Okay.
save.
Okay. Okay. How about others? How about others? Vasant Kumar.
Yeah, one more thing I
Bhushan.
can say that the manual one guy is thinking about a lot of work and all, and a lot of how much time it will take like that. And the
Mm-hmm.
automated one guy is very free-minded because he know that it might get resolved in very small time of period.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. How about others? Hina, Harpreet. Sorry. Sai Kumar, Kavita.
In manual testing, he has to run each and everything by his own. In automation, he just needs to run it many times with many iterations.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, Vasant Kumar, go ahead.
Actually, you can reduce the test cases and the script when we do the automation, but manually we can repeat the work, same work again and again. So it's getting bored.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why manual.
Okay. Nice. So how about Prasad, Kavita, Sai Kumar. Hello. Is Prasad, Kavita, Sai Kumar? Yeah, Murli, you can speak.
Yeah, increase the productivity.
Mm-hmm.
So new skill set added for that automation stuff manual skill
I
set is
couldn't. Sai, Can you repeat your point again, Sai Kumar? I couldn't get it.
So automation, if you learn some automation tool, new skill improve, scaling skills, right? That is also
Okay.
skill
I
setting.
couldn't. Yeah. I couldn't get your point clearly, but if there's some disturbance around you, you just type it in the chat window. Yeah. Okay. So, so by this image, what I interpret from this is that, yeah, at the during the time of product release, a manual person has to fill a lot of documents, go through a lot of process, undergo a lot of work and stuff. Whereas an automation tester, once his work is pretty much well oiled or well automated, or the system is built in place, so within a click of a play button, the script will start executing its test cases by itself, and we just generates the report accordingly. Got it? It generates the reports or generates the results of the test cases accordingly. Clear?
Yeah, correct.
So it's just like manual testing efforts is also very much important in the part of automation test cycle. Got it? Automation efforts is also very much important in the part of this testing life cycle. Manual on automation team should go hand in hand. Clear? There's also a myth going on in the market that uh, if the test cases are automated, then there will be no work for manual team. So that is a very much wrong notion, because the more test cases that are being automated by the automation team, then the manual team can focus on expanding the test case scenarios. The more cases that are automated, the more creative the manual testers become, and they start expanding the test cases, and they start finding more defects, more issues in the system, which can be a sort of a new information to the automation team, so that they can inbuild that logic within the systems. Got it? Clear? Is this clear,
Yeah,
everyone?
correct. Yeah,
So at the end of the day, automation is not gonna replace the manual testers. Automation is gonna support the testing process in a smooth and efficient and a faster manner. Got it? Clear, everyone? Well, Bhushan, Hina, Harpreet.
Yes.
yeah, it
Yes.
is.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, got it.
So let us go through the advantages of automation testing. Reliability, repeatability, comprehensiveness, better quality software, reusability, programmable, fast and cost reduction. What do you mean by this reliability? So it performs the same operation again and again each time they run, thereby eliminating human error. It's just like if you want to if you want to make a payment of 500 to the bank site, we might tend to make some errors. Like if someone asks me, like, you make a payment of 500 for next 10 times, you might tend to make a mistake at the fifth or the sixth time. Whereas if you write an automation script for this, so it will never ever perform a wrong action. It will perform the same thing again and again, thereby eliminating human error. So repeatability. Suppose if you run the same test case for 100 times on the same browser, we can also see how the application is behaving, how well it's accepting the load of the application and stuff. Clear? Are these 2 points clear? Reliability and repeatable?
Yeah, clear.
So comprehensiveness. Comprehensiveness means provides the ability to build a suite of tests that covers each and every feature in the application. Clear? So that means what? We can able to build a suite of test cases that can cover each and every corner of the application. So better quality software means what? As someone said at the start of the class, that we can run more test cases in less time with reduced team size. So see, this is one of the main points that project managers will always love to have in their software products. Anything that consumes less time and gives us a greater productivity, that is always a catch for the service delivery management team. Why am I focusing on service delivery management team or project managers? Because They are the ones who manages the finances of the project, right? They have the balance sheets of plus and minus. If the project is having more profits because of this automation testing or whatsoever, then definitely that particular project manager or delivery manager would love to have that kind of resources in his system. Got it? Always the aim of a project manager or service delivery manager will be like how how efficiently I can pull off my project. Clear? Is this clear? Any
Clear.
doubts?
Yeah.
Hmm. Reusability. Reusability means what? Enabling reusability of tests on different versions of application. Now, if someone asks you to execute the same script in SIT and someone else asks you to execute the same script in UAT environment, yeah. So for a manual tester, it is very difficult, very much difficult to run the same smoke suit on UAT and SIT environment, right? Yes or no?
Correct.
Yes.
So when you have automation scripts ready made and which is in progress, so you can run the same script in two different environments on a button click. Yes or no?
Yes.
Is it clear? Any doubts? Is it clear, guys? Any doubts?
Yes. It's clear. Clear,
Fast.
sir.
Yeah. Fast. Automated tools run tests significantly faster than manual process. So the thing with Selenium scripting is the scripts tend to run more faster. Like the execution of the scripts finishes within a blink of an eye that you might not even see what is happening actually. Okay? It's that fast. Programmable. So it provides us the ability to program sophisticated tests that bring out hidden information present in the application. So what do you mean by this ability to program sophisticated tests? So when we prepare the test cases that are written by manual team from an automation standpoint of view, we also see like the more number of times we execute the same test case, the more information we get to know about the application, the more things we can see. Like suppose in the recent times, what I've experienced in my application is that people simply select the drop down and they go click on next button to go it. So what happened in my company is that while clicking on the application body, the drop down option is getting changed. You got my scenario, right? Now there is a form. In that particular form, you have just filled some data and you clicked on next button. So it goes to the next page, right? Yes or no?
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
So what happened means during the automation, we sometimes perform body click. So when I perform the body click, the drop down option I selected is changed from A to B. So how we have brought this out? Because with the help of automation, we also perform some additional clicks to check whether the application is behaving properly or not. Yes or no? Okay.
Yes, correct.
So when you have reduced team size, obviously the cost reduction, the project cost will be reduced. When you are working in a project where the team size is less, obviously the cost spent on the team will also be less, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Any, any doubts?
Oh,
So, so when it comes to other advantages of automation testing, as I've told you in the initial points, that wider test coverage. Wider test coverage means what? Scope to create a large number of complex automated test cases along with their execution over a period of time. So, as I said you, the more number of cases that I have automated, it will increase the scope of testing for the manual testers. So, ultimately, what they can do, they can start testing the scenarios which are out of the automation range. Clear? Is this clear?
Yes, yes.
So when the more you use automation testing, it executes the scripts with greater precision and lower errors than manual testing. Clear? So the more number of cases that are being automated, it provides us with an effective test management because automation code is reusable in multiple environments. No matter if you have 12 environments or 13 environments or 15 environments, you can reuse the same code in different locations. Clear? So hope everyone is able to see this image, right?
Yes.
So what do you understand by this image?
So manual testing, it took a lot of efforts, hours to complete the testing, and compared to the automation. If you can see the
Hmm.
full regression, 160
Hmm.
hours might take manual testing and 16 hours might take the automation testing.
Hmm. How about others?
Manual testing in all the all the testing, it is taking a lot of time compared to that
Mm-hmm.
automation testing.
Hmm. Hmm. How about others? So what is happening here is the more generally in order to execute a full-blown regression suite by a manual team, it will take around 160 hours. 160 hours means 160 by 8 is around 20 working days to finish a complete regression suite. At the initial testing stage, you might get 20 days or 15 days like that. But down the line, you will not get those many number of days to execute a full-blown regression suite. Whereas when we have automated this whole 1000 test cases, it will take only 2 working days to finish the execution. Got it? So less number of days are spent to execute the same 1000 test cases. So it is we are effectively utilizing the automation scripts which are robust and strong enough to execute the scripts in any environment. Got it? Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm. So in today, like in my office, what happens today is that so they have asked me to execute the same smoke suit in pre-production environment, SIT and UAT. What happened is that there was a major blocker, and in order to test that blocker in all the 3 environments, it was very difficult for manual team to do the smoke testing in all the 3 environments. So what we did, we have used 3 virtual machines to execute this scripts, like same automation scripts for running in 3 different environments parallelly. So with that, what happened is like within 4 hours we are given the smoke results for all the 3 environments. That way they found it effective to declare that a build is stable or not. Clear? This was a live example that I've encountered today, and I easily have shared the reports to them, like these many pass, these many fail, and these many skipped. Clear?
Yeah.
So, before you jump into the concept of test automation, remember a couple of things. Never ever automate a mess. That means what? Whenever you're trying to write an automation script, never ever try to write a mess, create a mess in your automation scripting. Second thing, avoid complex logic in your scripts. Avoid complex logic means what? Write the logic which is necessary for the automation scenario. Do not create a hell out of the logic. Do not try to showcase unnecessary logic in your script. Write the logic which is apt for that particular test case only. Third thing, most of the interviewers will always say like 100% automation is achievable and possible. Trust me, no one in the world, let it be of the tester who has some great automation skill set, they cannot do 100% automation testing. That is never ever possible. At the max, you can do 80 to 90% of the test cases can be automated. Okay, at the max. Clear? So
Yeah, right.
beware of yeah, beware of automators who don't understand testing. So if a person wants to make out a career in test automation, or if a person wants to jump into test automation, first he needs to understand what are the basics of testing. First he needs to be a better manual tester in order to become an automation engineer. Got it? One who understands the testing processes only can understand how to do automation testing. Clear?
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
Okay.
So test automation is a software development process. What do you mean by test automation is a software development process? Here also we write the code, here also we do the stuff, here also we evaluate, here also we do these things. Clear? Is this clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm. Is it clear? These are the 5 points you should always remember when you are making out a career in test automation testing. Clear?
Yes, got it.
Hmm. So this is a graph that most of the service delivery managers look at when they distribute the funds towards testing, because most of the companies what they see, testing is like a overhead expense, or testing is like an additional expense. These days most of the project managers see that way. So why the companies are running behind automation testing is, I hope this graph is self-informative, self-understandable. Guys, what do you understand with this graph?
I
Cost is
thought
increasing in
each
manual testing.
Yeah, one after the
user,
other. Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, I was saying the cost is increasing in manual testing, while in automation it is same in all fields.
Mm-hmm.
I think work of what based on the build wise
Mm-hmm.
user resource consumption.
Okay. And And anyone else would love to say? So as all of you, as all of you said, as the number of builds gets increases, the cost of the manual testing gets increased, and the cost of the automation testing nearby remains the same. Clear? Clear?
Correct. Yeah.
Hmm. So, what are the different automation testing tools that you know in the market? What are the different tools that are used for automation in the market? Can you name them? Hmm? One is Selenium.
Yes,
Apart from
Selenium,
Selenium,
Tus-
UFT,
Tosca is there, EFT is there,
Cypress,
Cypress,
Eggplant,
sorry,
Cucumber,
Cypress, UFT,
Cypress, UFT, and
Python,
Python is a language. I'm asking about automation testing
language.
tools.
Okay.
and the threats, I guess.
Sorry,
Eggplant,
eggplant. Okay, yeah.
Use mango.
Sorry,
Use mango.
US mango,
Use, yes. USC mango.
mag. Yeah.
Mango, yeah. MANGO.
Cucumber,
APM,
Cucumber is a plugin. That is not automation tool.
APM,
And Appium. Okay. Then what is Appium?
Catalan
Yeah. Next,
Studio, and Test Complete.
test complete. Yeah.
Postman is API tool.
Sorry,
Postman,
Postman is API automation testing. That is not your automation tool. Anything else?
So Lambda Test and Catalan Studio.
Catalan Studio.
Yes.
And I would love to add Playwright also.
Yeah, right.
Hmm. So, so out of this, let me rule out. Tosca is a paid product. UFT is a paid product. USC Mango, 1 minute. USC Mango and Eggplant, I have to check whether it's their paid product or not. USC Mango, the one who referred is a paid version or a free version. So Eggplant is also a paid version. Catalan Studio is a free one. Even Playwright is a free one. Appium is a free one. Test Complete is also a paid one. Clear? Now, how many free tools are there? Selenium, Cypress, Appium, Catalan Studio, and Playwright. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, whenever a company wants to purchase a product, they'll always check whether the product is open source or paid. They always try to go with open source products. Got it? Now, we have free tools. Yeah, Catalan Studio, Cypress, and Playwright. Yeah. For ones who said Selenium and Appium belong to the same family. Selenium supports web application testing. Yeah,
Awaken is
supports.
for mobile, right?
Yeah, yeah. So both come under the same family. So here, why Selenium is still the popular tool among all these things? So Cypress and Playwright will work in Windows system, and the language used for scripting is JavaScript. Clear? Works in Chrome and Firefox only. Got it? Clear?
Yeah, clear.
Need to install Visual Studio, which is one of the biggest applications, largest applications to be installed. Okay? That is the main reason some companies might rule out Cypress and Playwright. Yeah? Catalan Studio, I would tell this point that Catalan Studio, yes, that is also a good tool, but sometimes if you use the license version, you might get some additional features. If you go with the free version, you might get some lesser features than the premium one. So Catalan Studio, yes, I agree that some of the companies are using Catalan Studio, but not that effective. I don't, as per my observation, I don't find much effective results with Catalan Studio. So, whereas Selenium supports multiple programming languages like Java, C hash, Python, Ruby, JavaScript, etc. Yeah, Selenium supports cross-browser testing. What do you mean by cross-browser testing? Can anyone say what is cross-browser testing?
You can test it in multiple browsers
It
like
can be used
Chrome,
in the multiple
Internet
browsers
Explorer, Firefox, all of them.
parallelly.
Just
Yeah,
add
yeah,
the
one after
dependencies.
another.
Some more,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Okay, okay. Hmm. Suppose cross-browser testing means same test case can be executed in Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, Opera. Yeah, Selenium is an open source. So the problem with open source tool is you will never have a dedicated support system if you face any challenges or issue. You might have to search for the issues or resolution of your issues in a Selenium open form. Yeah,
Yeah, correct.
Selenium consumes lesser hardware. Selenium is flexible to use as per our current requirements. Okay. Selenium also supports parallel testing. What do you mean by parallel testing? Can anyone say?
Parallelly, you can run the multiple tests.
Parallel, you can run multiple test cases.
Yeah, in the multiple browsers.
Hmm. Clear? Supports parallel testing, consumes less hardware, multiple browsers. Clear? Any doubts with the advantages of Selenium overall? Appium also behaves the same thing, but Selenium supports only web applications. Clear? Clear with all the pros of Selenium.
Yes.
So, there's a saying in English, every coin has two sides. How many of you believe that sentence in English? There's a proverb in English, right? Every coin has two sides. How many of you believe it?
It's a fact. It is.
It's a fact. So,
Yeah,
before you
100%.
so before you choose a tool, you need to know the cons of Selenium also, right? Does not have an inbuilt reporting mechanism. Need to integrate the scripts with third-party tools. Does not support image processing and biometric validations. Clear? The image processing includes, like, when you're trying to log into the application, if there is some captcha there, so it is very difficult for Selenium to handle those biometric operations and stuff. Clear?
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Hmm. Does not support audio and video testing. So, not only Selenium, no other automation tool can support audio and video testing, right? Yes or no? That's something a human should test it visually. Yeah? Is it clear? Does not have any direct integration with test management tools like Jira, TestRail, Azure, TFS. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
What do you think would be the cons of using Selenium? Need to have a programming, need to have good, decent programming knowledge to handle this tool. Yeah, clear? Is this clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
So, for whenever you're trying to prepare automation scripts with the help of any tool, continuous maintenance, continuous executions is a mandatory thing. Without that, you cannot even analyze how the script is working in different environments and different situations. Clear? Is this clear? Any doubts, guys?
I have one doubt in this part. So you said
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
Selenium is support for Windows OS. What about remaining? I mean, Linux.
Supports only web-based application. Okay, Selenium supports multiple operating systems like Windows, Linux, and Mac. Clear? Is this clear?
Yes.
Selenium is platform and language independent overall. Clear?
So like Java, right?
Java is platform independent. Selenium is platform and language independent because Selenium supports Java, C hash, Python, Ruby, JS, Haskell. We never know. Yeah. So I hope you understood the pros and cons of Selenium and how it is still staying in the market as an open source tool, though how many tools have come in the market, why Selenium is one of the most preferred tools still. Clear? Is this clear, guys? Any doubts?
Yeah, clear.
Yes.
So, do you have any questions with respect to the course and how are we going ahead? Like, do you have any questions? Last 5 minutes we have, so you can ask any questions if you want to, because tomorrow onwards I'll start with Selenium, discussing about Selenium family.
Do we have live project in this course?
We'll be explaining you a couple of frameworks, like one or two frameworks will be explaining you of how do you build a framework from scratch. From there, you need to build a project because I tend to change the websites from one class to another class because the more different websites I use, the more understanding you will get how to handle how to handle XPaths, how to handle how to automate different sites. Definitely, that project will be online with the market. It will be better than the market also sometimes because the framework that I have designed is not used in many of the companies. Most of the companies they do get the framework from third-party source or something from the internet, but the framework that I design is not something from Google. I designed by myself. Okay.
Okay, okay.
And
One more thing, are we going to get a basic Java knowledge?
yes, we are going to get a basic Java knowledge from the scratch. So first I have to explain the concept of Selenium and its family. Then post that we'll be discussing Java basics, right from installation and the basic programming.
Hi Rahul.
Hi.
Rahul, what all the topics we are covering in this session, like in this entire session?
In this entire session, yes.
Like what all the frameworks we are going to discuss? Like are we discussing about the BDD framework or what framework we are going to discuss in?
See, we'll be discussing about TestNG BDD Cucumber. That's the
Mhm.
first thing. So with the combination of TestNG and BDD, we'll be designing one framework.
Okay,
Only
and
TestNG also you can decide one basic framework. With the combination of TestNG and Cucumber also you can do one framework.
apart from this, like what all the sessions, what all the topics we are covering in this entire session.
So we'll be covering the concepts of GitHub also, like how do you push the code, how do you commit the code, how do you get the fresh code into the local system, how do you check out the code. So basically, we'll be using two different types of editors in our class. The first half of the class will be using Eclipse, and the second half of the class will be using IntelliJ. Why? Because these days in the market, people are asking uh, to use multiple editors. Clear? Because IntelliJ is offering wide range of plugins for the programmer to use. Clear?
Okay.
So then we'll be discussing about the basics of Java. What is Java? How do we create a new class? And the basic syntax, the different data types and the wrapper classes, the conditional and looping statements, static versus non-static methods, constructor basics, strings, exception handling arrays, and how do we integrate all these basics concepts with the Selenium concepts at a later point of time. So the strings, can you mute your mic, please? So, in a automation testing, string having a good knowledge on strings is must and should because we daily deal with strings on a daily basis. If you are very confident in your string functions, then you can play around with the website in a better manner because you will not get the string which is in a proper format. We need to convert the string into a format that we all expected, that we all wanted. So, importance of strings and collections from automation perspective. What are different types of string functions? What are the different types of string util concepts? What are the different collection concepts? What are the different types of collections? Some basic programming questions based on strings and collections. What is exception handling? What is the different ways of file handling? How do we write the data to the file, read the data from the file? How do we copy the files from one location to other location? What are the different functions that we have in files? How do you use extents and implements in Java? How do you perform inheritance between a superclass and subclass? What are the concepts of inherit interfaces? By covering all the above concepts, what are the different OOPS concepts that we are covering up? And we'll also be covering lambda expressions, Java lambda expressions this time. Yeah,
So these topics are basically these topics are from Java only. This exception
yeah,
handling, inheritance, and all these.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
so what we are what we are covering in the Selenium, it's
I'm yet
okay.
to start
These
that.
topics will some sort. Okay.
I'm yet to discuss. So when you go for Selenium project, we need to set up a basic Maven project and how do we add the dependencies? How do we add the WebDriver and how do we launch the web application? What are the different Selenium tools that we have? How do we search for elements? How do we find the elements based on different types of XPaths? How do we handle the grids? What are the different wait times? Yeah.
Okay.
So how do we handle frames? How do we capture screenshots? Uh, how do we handle multiple windows and tabs? How do we handle pop-ups? What are how do we use Chrome options? How do we use decide capabilities, which helps in enhancing the driver? So when it comes to TestNG, what are the different annotations of TestNG? How do we execute test cases in TestNG? Parameterization and grouping. What are the different assert statements you can use? How do we create a dependency between the two test cases? How do you create your own listeners? How do you use the predefined listeners? How do we install TestNG plugin? And when it comes to Cucumber, how do we install Cucumber plugin? How do we prepare the step feature files, step definitions? How do we execute the cases from the runner files? How do we use scenario outline? What is the concept of pickle test step concept? How do we perform Excel operations? Like how do we write data to the Excel? How do we read data from the Excel? How do we use properties files? Like how do we read properties and setting the values? Properties file is nothing but a configuration file where you have like if I want to run the same code in browser like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, so you mention those values in a properties file and based on the behavior of the config file, we maintain the code accordingly. So how do we generate extend reports using the Cucumber extend Cucumber adapter using the regular way? What are the different types of extend reports that we can try and do? How do we perform JSON file operations? How do we write the data to the JSON file? How do we read the data from the JSON file? How do we modify the contents of the JSON file? If possible, we can also deal the same for XML file. Okay. So how do we perform basic API testing? Yeah. So we also deal with basics of SQL. How do we install SSMS? How do we use insert and update query, joins, exists? How do we store the results, creating views, and JDBC connection? JDBC connection means we are linking our database to the program. So how do we use Excel in a real-time project? How do we use GitHub on a daily purpose? How do we use IntelliJ? How do we build a framework from scratch, and what are the different types of frameworks that we have? We have keyword-driven, data-driven, and hybrid framework. These are the main frameworks that we have in the market. Okay. So
Okay.
CI/CD pipeline is something I'm working on it because I'm trying to set up a Jenkins thing in my laptop. So once that is done, at the end, I'll be discussing the Jenkins part also. Okay, this is something of an extra topic.
Okay.
Extra topic means if we have some time that like everyone is interested, then we'll be going into this topic. For that, I'll be setting up a pipeline by the end of the course so that you can also understand what is exactly happening. If we also have time, we can go for karate framework also and JUnit. Clear?
All right.
There's a lot more topics to cover, so I need you, everyone of you, to practice daily, understand daily, come up with more doubts so that we can discuss more points in the class. Yeah, clear?
Got it.
Yeah.
Do we have session on weekends also?
We have classes only on Monday to Friday, that is 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Here, I can explain the course duration and
Course duration is for 30 to 45 days, and these are the topics we are covering. And everyday class will be from 9 to 10 p.m. IST, Monday to Friday. No classes on weekends. If you want to have
recordings daily basis.
recordings will be shared to you through your Gmail or a YouTube link. You will be receiving those links and mails.
So that's a permanent videos.
Sorry.
Okay, okay, understand.
Hmm. Clear? Is this clear? Any doubts?
No, Rahul, all clear. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So see you all tomorrow in the next class, that is 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST tomorrow, and we'll be discussing more on the Selenium family, how the Selenium tool has started, and how it has built up till this stage, followed by installation of softwares tomorrow. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
is it clear?
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.